Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the top and my favorite wide receiver plays for week one. Posted the quarterbacks and running backs video yesterday, so time to talk about the wide receivers. We'll have a lot more options in this video, but I just wanted to go ahead and narrow it down to at least a dozen or so. And let's get started. So, as always, appreciate if you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. This helps the channel grow and reach more people. You can check out Twitter. It's at the DFS process there. The first four wide receivers are all in play. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Calvin Ridley, Hopkins. I mean, you have three of the best matchups for Hill, Ridley, and Hopkins that you can ask for. Tennessee is going to be awful defensively, and their offense got better, so this game could be more of a shootout, which bodes well for DeAndre Hopkins, especially if you want to pair him with Kyler Murray. Tyreek Hill and the Chiefs, that he's going to be playable basically every single week. They're at home against a Cleveland team that does have some deep postseason expectations this year. Maybe can make a run for the Super Bowl. So this game also should be very high scoring. You got to love Tyreek Hill in this sort of matchup here. And then you have Calvin Ridley playing against the Eagles, a team that, look back at last year, they were the sixth worst team in terms of giving up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. They did bring in a couple of changes on the secondary, new cornerback, but overall they're still going to be prone to some big plays just because how young they are. And Ridley, without having to play with Julio Jones, is just a lock for more targets, more red zone opportunities, even though he was already getting a bunch of them. Expect Ridley to have a breakout season, although he's already had one, but expect him to probably get over 100 catches this year if he's healthy, maybe 1,500 plus yards. Just expect him to do some great things for Atlanta. And 79 against the Eagles is just tough to ignore that. And then even Devontae Adams, like he has a tougher matchup compared to these three guys, but he's the best wide receiver in football. Nobody can really argue that. And we know Rodgers is his quarterback. If it was a different story, if Rodgers got traded or he wasn't going to play week one, then it wouldn't have much interest. But Rodgers is there. Adams is healthy. Rodgers, hopefully, still motivated and wants to win in Green Bay. And then we can scroll down a little bit here to Stephon Diggs. I think I like Diggs a little bit more than Jefferson, just because he's at home. Pittsburgh should be more of a could be a little bit more of a defensive game as Pittsburgh is good defensively, but Diggs and Josh Allen, they have such good chemistry. 147 grabs last year. They did bring in Sammy Watkins, but Watkins isn't gonna take too much away from Diggs. And the price tag is nice on Diggs. Like he should be an 8K wide receiver for most of the year, and getting him at 76 at home against Pittsburgh in Week 1, I think that looks pretty good. He had 32 fantasy points against Pittsburgh last year, so definitely has upside given the matchup. So I'd play Diggs over Jefferson. I would play Diggs probably over DK Metcalf. Looking at the low 7K range, it would be A.J. Brown, a guy I like against Arizona to run it back if you do play Hopkins. I love Keenan Allen at only $6,900. He's also very underpriced. He's going to get you 10 plus targets with Justin Herbert as the quarterback. Probably will get over 1,000 yards easily this year if he's healthy. And a pretty good option in the red zone as well. So a target machine, a good price tag against Washington. A team that should be able to compete this year and did make some upgrades. Well, they did get a new quarterback, so hopefully Fitzpatrick can do well. I feel pretty good that he'll do better than Heineke did last year and then whatever they got out of Haskins. So definitely love Keenan Allen's price tag at that 1,600 mark. You have Tyler Lockett. People are looking to DK Metcalf. You can play Lockett instead. It seems like usually only one of them has good games most of the time. So I wouldn't want to play both of them. I'd look to either Lockett or Metcalf. Lockett is pretty affordable, and the Colts are prone to getting blown up again in the past. They're pretty good on the ground. Terry McLaurin, only 64. He's going to hopefully have another big year like he did last year. I expect him to. Better quarterback throwing the football. Fitzpatrick does like to throw it downfield to take some shots. It does have a great weapon to do that with. And McLaurin at home against a Chargers team also is good defensively, but the price tag is just a little bit tough to ignore. He's probably going to be looking at 8 to 12 targets every single week. Hopefully he can do a little bit better in the red zone, get some touchdown passes, but there's really nobody to really take wide receiver targets away from Terry McLaurin on this team. I like DJ Moore's price tag, 61 against the Jets. Him and Darnold. Hopefully Darnold has that same sort of connection like he did with Robbie Anderson with one of these Panthers guys. Could be DJ Moore. He's also very affordable, 61. So DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, they're my favorites in the 6K range. The 5K range, you have a couple of maybe some more tournament options here like Robbie Anderson, Mike Williams on the Chargers if you don't want to play Keenan Allen. Devontae Parker, tougher matchup here, but this is the only week you'll get to play without Will Fuller, who's suspended for the first week. So maybe Devontae Parker can get some more targets. Not looking too heavily at like Sutton or Myers or Shepard. I don't mind Tyler Boyd, but I like to go to Chase or Higgins, who are cheaper than him. So 5K range isn't my favorite price range. I'd rather go up to the 6, 7, 8K range or go down to the 4 and 3K range. You have Corey Davis, $4,900. If there's no Crowder, he looks even better. If Crowder plays, he's still playable just because he's so cheap. He's a number 1 wide receiver. And Darnold, without Darnold, Zach Wilson is looking to throw a little bit more downfield. Wilson had a great preseason. Him and Davis hooked up plenty of times. So I got to like Davis. Number 1, looking to kind of go back to that top wide receiver after playing with A.J. Brown the last couple of years. He was kind of relegated, but he has the reins in New York right now. You also have McCole Hardman, Jamar Chase, valuable options here. Hardman is now the number 2 wide receiver in KC with no Sammy Watkins. Devontae Smith, definitely look to target some of these Falcons secondary guys. They are not very good. Smith might be able to break the top off them once, maybe twice in this game. The Eagles don't have very much experience at their wide receiver position. Their opposite starter, Jalen Reagor, is only in his second year, and then Greg Ward has been a journeyman, and then he's caught on a little bit the last couple years with the Eagles. But I gotta like Smith at only $4,500. You have like Williams just as a number 1 that's gonna get some looks at $4,400. And then Michael Pittman with unfortunate injury to, Hill's going to miss a few weeks, so Pittman is the number 1. He's only 41 in a matchup against Seattle, which probably going to have to throw the football against them. Hopefully Carson Wentz plays. If Wentz doesn't play, then that might make Pittman look a little bit less appealing, although who knows what kind of Wentz we're going to get this year. And the 3K range is even solid as well. You have Jalen Reagor if you wanted to save some money. He's 37. He's going to be on the field 80-90% of the snaps. You have Paris Campbell, Zach Pascal. One of the two is going to start alongside. They might both start, just without Hilton. One of these might be in the slot, but I kind of like Pascal if you wanted to pick between those two. Marvin Jones in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence looked up and down the preseason, had a good way to close it out in the last week. And Jones, only 36. He's going to be out there a ton, but looks coming off of a very good year in Detroit. Almost had 1,000 yards. I expect pretty good numbers out of him. He's only 36. Great value play. And then the last guy is Marquez Callaway, just as a number 1 wide receiver with no Michael Thomas, and just how good he looked with Jameis Winston in preseason. I think definitely a great value play in week 1. So that's about like 12, maybe 15 guys really like for this week. If you want to narrow it down here, kind of some of my favorites are Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen at the top end price tag. Mid-range is Terry McLaurin, Devontae Smith, 64-45. You can make a case for Corey Davis, Jamar Chase, Moore, Lockett. Then all the way at the bottom is Marquez Callaway, Marvin Jones, Michael Pittman. As 3 guys that are in the low 4K and even the high. Callaway and Jones are in the 3K range. Pittman as your low 4K option with some upside in week 1. So that's about it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck this week. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you all next time.